Hey everybody, thanks for joining me for coloring. Today we are going to be working on this super cute Whimsy Stamps image called Puppy. Isn't she adorable? Love her. Hi Teresa. Glad you're back. So we're going to be working on her. If you haven't picked her up yet, there's a link down in the supply list. You can head over to the store and grab her up. There are still a few left. So if you haven't grabbed her, go ahead and head over and get her. I think there's maybe 3 left of this one already. So she's definitely cute. So that's what we're doing this week. So next week we're going to do this cutie. Isn't she cute? This one's called Love You. The card kit is already sold out. So if you did not, I think this is the next one. Okay, there's this one, and then there is, see how off I am? I'm thinking that maybe trying to figure out what next week is. Let me look. I don't think that's the one. Oops. Helps if you figure out what button you're pushing. Let me go look over here to see what we're doing next week. So I'm hopping right over to the store blog, and I'm going to hit the little tab at the top that says classes. And it's going to tell me exactly what classes we have. So today we're doing Puppy. Oh, see, I have it backwards. Next week, we're going to do this cutie. This is called Leprechaun Lass, and she's a Moe's digital pencil image. So we'll be doing her next week. She is a digi, so you can, if you head over to the store blog and click on the blog post for this, it will take you directly to her so you can pick her up and color along with me. And then the following week, we're going to do this girl. So this one's called Love You, and like I said, this one is already sold out. But if you want to grab the digi and color along with me, you can head over to Moe's Digital Pencil, and it's called Love You. I think it's called Love You to Bits over there, and you can pick her up and print her out and still color along with me. But like I said, the card kit on this one's already sold out. And then I don't have anything yet planned for the following week, but I am working on a cute little boy that he's wearing a crown, and he's got a little dog coming out of a present. So I'm thinking that will be the following week that we'll do him, and that will be a card kit. So I'll make sure to get that finished up and in the store so you can go ahead and grab him. So let's go ahead and find our image and our directions. Okay, so we're going to get all this out. And I'm going to move some stuff. Okay, so we're going to work on her. And I'm thinking I'm going to move this over maybe a little bit. And fix my chat so I can see something. Okay, so we're going to do her first. Let's go down a little bit. And let's go ahead and do the background first. So for that, we're not going to do anything fancy. We're going to do BG (quadruple-0) and (triple-0). So we're going to do these two. Hi Linda, thanks for joining us. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start with my BG (quadruple-0). And like I said, we're not going to do anything fancy. I'm just going to start down here at the bottom. I'm going to go up a little bit because I'm going to make grass down there. So I'm just going to put my pen down next to my image, and then I'm going to swipe out. And like I said, I'm going to put grass down here so I don't have to worry about going all the way down. And then we're going to go up here. I'm going to go around these wings. And I try to keep, when I'm swiping away, I try to keep my lines going straight across. You don't want to go sideways or anything like that because it's going to look funky later. So I try to go straight out. And this will work best too if your pins are full or not running out. You want the pen to glide just across the paper, so mine just sweeps right out there. Not feel all draggy and like it's running on sandpaper. I'm going to go up here past this little wrinkle, or this little hair that's poking up a little bit. And she's got a ponytail, and it kind of has a little bit of space there in between some of that stuff, so I'm going to go around that. And most of this stuff we're going to color green, so if you get some on there, it's not going to matter because we're going to color it up. We're going to cover it up. And then I go past my bug. And let's see, since our line, I stopped down in here, let's go ahead and go across over here. Alright, so now we're going to go with BG000, and for this, I want to put it where I want it to be the darkest. So like underneath of her wings right here, there's a little bit of, her wings are going to cast a shadow, so I'm going to do a little bit in there. Maybe down here where they're coming away, and a little bit onto our mushroom. And then under the mushroom is going to be darker, so let's add a little bit down here. And I'm kind of going wider up here and then kind of go down in a triangle so that it tapers off. And I got some on these leaves. I'm not going to worry because I'm going to color those green. So let's see, over here, I'm going to say the sun's kind of coming this way. So let's do a little dab behind our bug because he's going to be casting a shadow a little bit behind him. And then let's do in here where her hair is going onto her face. And I'm just kind of randomly putting some dark spots in here. Okay. And then wherever I put those little dark spots, if there's an edge, I'm going to go back over that and just flick off of it a little bit. You could also use your colorless blender. I just want to soften that up just a bit. Not have quite such a harsh line there. Easy peasy. Alright, so now let's go ahead and we'll hop down here and we'll do the grass. So we will need G94, YG63, and 61. So we're going to need these. Hi Kathy, thanks for joining us. Don't you love spell check? Okay, so we're going to do G94 first. That spell check gets me every time. I'm like, that's not what I wanted to say. Okay, so we're going to go underneath of our mushroom. So let's go over here. And I'm going to go, because remember our light's coming over this way, it's going to still cast a little bit of a shadow. So I'm going to make it a little bit dark right here on the back. And when I put my frame around this, we're hardly going to see any of that. So it really doesn't matter, but I'm still going to color it just because. It's good practice. Then we'll add YG63. So again, let's go up here, and I'm going to go just a little bit past my G94, and then we're going to pull this color out. Whoops, I colored my flower. I'm not going to stress over that. Although it's going to be a light blue, so I might have to go back over that with my colorless blender a little bit and take that off. We can't have our flower being green. And then we'll do YG61. So I'm swiping across the last two colors and going past to add this pretty green out here on the edges. And then I'm going to go back with my G94 and just add a little bit of that back in. And then I'm going to get my colorless blender and we're going to remove the color from this poor little flower here. We don't want it to be green. At least I don't. Okay, so now we're gonna go and I guess I shouldn't have put those away because I'm gonna do the leaves since I already had this color out. So for our leaves, we're going to use these. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and zoom down a little bit. That way you girls can see. So we're going to do G94 first, and I didn't do anything fancy. I'm just going to do a little line in the middle of each leaf, like this. And then we'll go up here, and she's got a little pile of leaves there that she's holding. This green, that green combination I used for the ground, that's a really good one. I like it. Oops, she's got a couple here on this little mushroom. Gotta kind of, and I'll probably when I get done, I'll still have missed some. So that's the way that goes. I'm like, oh, that's a leaf later on. It never fails. It happens every time. Okay, then we're going to do YG61. And again, nothing fancy. I'm just going to color my leaves in. And you can go back if you like the center of your leaves darker and do a little swipe again if your YG or your G94. Or if you would like to do it the other way, you could just go ahead and color with your YG61 and then go over the top of that and just add your little stripe in there. Since there's only two colors, you're not doing too much blending, so it would be okay if you just swipe your lightest color on and then add this little line. I just didn't think of it. I'm so used to doing it the other way that I just automatically do it that way. All right, then we're gonna go and work on her skin. So we're gonna need 20, 30. Hi, Julie. Okay, so for our skin, we're going to use the 11, 21, 00. For cheeks, we'll use our 20 and 30. Glad you can make it back for coloring. All right, so let's go ahead and start with E11. I'm going to start on her legs and her arms. So for my E11, I'm going to add, make sure I didn't zoom down too far. Let me know if that's too close. our third color. And then we start again with our E11 on the arms. Hi, Chris. Thanks for joining us. All right, so we're going to go with our E11. Let's do up here on her arm. I'm going to do a little bit where it's touching her little outfit. And then we're going to get a little bit here where her arm goes back around underneath. And then this is her hand right here. So we're going to go up. And then let's go ahead and do just a little bit right here. And since I'm going to have the sun shining on her from the front, I'm going to add a little bit here on the back of her arm. And then I'm going to do a little dab where her sleeve touches her body. And then for her shoulder, let's do over here on this side. And then we're going to add E21. And again, I touch down on top of my E11 and I pull away from that out into my white space. And next we'll add E00. Close is good. Okay, good to know, Kathy. Close is good. Sometimes I think I get a little too close. But I like to see. I want to be able to up it close and see what you're doing. That's how I like to watch the videos myself. It's like if I'm 3 feet above it, I can't see anything. And super speed. I can't see anything with super speed either. Okay, so now we're going to go up here and we're going to work on her face. So grab your E11 again. And she's got all this hair that's kind of falling on her face over here. So we're going to go right next to that. And I'm going to go down to her eye, but don't color her little white part of her eye in. Be careful with that. It's kind of close right there. And then for her nose, I'm going to give it a little bit of a shadow right here. And then let's go underneath of her bangs. And she's got all this great hair that's curling right here. And her ear is right here. I'm going to color that in so that I don't have to think about it anymore. Because, you know, I'd forget about it. And then we'll do E21. Close and normal speed. Teresa says she likes close and normal speed. That's what I prefer too, Teresa. Although I've been having the fast forward videos so that some people like that, and that's okay. We're trying those out to see how they go. And since this side is over here, I'm going to go ahead and shadow that whole side where her face is. And we're going to bring this around like that, because all this hair right here is going to cast a shadow on her face. And then we'll add E00. Mr. HeathersHobbieHaven has convinced me that they pretty much, when they give you suggestions for videos, it's usually people like 10 minutes or less. So, let me text my child real quick. She had to go to the doctor today, So, oops. She had an appointment with her OB today to say that she was going to, she's really close to having a baby. So let me tell her that she'll have to call back. It's not time for a baby yet. You wait. Do you think that'll work out? No time for that. Call Mike's phone. If it's an emergency, call Mike. So we're going to go with R20. And let's put that over here on this cheek first. Maybe I should have told her that. Here, wait a minute, I gotta tell her that. It's an emergency, call Mike. Alright, so now we'll go with R30. She's probably like, Mom, you've lost it. Okay, so I'm just gonna soften the edge of my R20 a little bit. And then, because I don't want her face to be too dark, I'm going to just go over with my E00. And these little hairs right here, I'm not worried if I go over those either, because we're going to color her hair dark brown. So if I get a little bit on there, it's not going to be any big deal. Okay, and then it looks like, did I put some V20 on here? Let me see my girl here. Nope, not today. No V20 today. Some days I just switch it up and add things just for the fun of it. Just to throw you girls off. That's what I do. I add these things just to throw everybody off. Okay, let's stretch this out a little bit. I can't see the chat very good. Oh, poor Linda's having snow and freezing rain. I don't like snow at all. We live on the Oregon coast, so we don't do snow around here. Everybody's like, why do you guys freak out when the snow comes, when you have snow? Because no one is prepared. We don't have snow tires. We don't have snow equipment to clear roads off. We don't have, everybody drives like crazy people. So we don't like that. So for her hair, we're going to do E27, 18, 17, and 23. So, E27 first. So we want to put this where you want it to be the darkest. So some of these little hairs over here, they flip up and then they flip underneath. So like right here, it goes underneath and curls back around. So we're going to give the underneath section a little dab. And then where it's coming out of her ponytail wrapper, I'm going to give it a little smidgen of color. And then some of these right here, they're curling back underneath, but they're behind everything. So let's go ahead and give where it's closest to her head a little color. And then right here, this whole section is in like a little ponytail knot. I don't know what you call that, but like the back section. And let's move over to here, to this section. Whoops. over here, this whole section right here is underneath all of this. So let's go ahead and add a little bit extra dark in here. Over here, where this stuff, you know how you pull your hair back, so all this stuff underneath this headband is going to kind of go back in like a little triangle. So let's do like this. Oops, that one got a little crazy. Don't do that. And where it's going in the very back, it's going to have more. And there's a little section right here that's hair. I'm going to color that in because that's just a little dab of section. And then over here we're going to do these little curls. So these little curls are coming out. And then we got this. And then this one kind of bends, so let's do this little bend. Okay, I'm going to turn my girl a little bit. Let's move this lid. Okay, so now this little section right here is going back underneath this little curl. So let's do in here. And then we still have to tie in all of this stuff up here. So I'm going to take my pencil, or my pen, and I'm just going to go like this and add a few little lines in here. And I'm trying to just barely touch the paper. Same with this stuff. Let's bring this. We need to incorporate this up here into this headband. And this needs to come this way. Okay, let's try that. We'll see how this goes first. Oh, it was Mr. HobbieHaven's turn to be called on the baby watch. Okay, so E18's next. Oh, what's this? Is this hair? This is hair right here. And this one's pretty dark, so be careful putting this one down. You don't want to be like crazy. I'm trying to keep my streaks pretty small. So I've learned over the years to just barely touch that paper. And I find if I hold my pen more straight up and down, it makes skinnier little lines for me. I also find that when I do my lines that they tend to work better if I'm pulling them towards me. Like right here, it seems like if this little dinky space right here, if I set my pen down there, I get more ink there, so it makes a bigger line. Next we'll add E17. And again, we're just going to swipe some color on here. And then I'm going to fill it in with my E23. If you like all this white stuff in there, you can leave it like that. I personally don't like that look, or I can't get it to look as fabulous as I would like it to look, so I usually just color it all the way in. Personal preference. I think it looks terrible. Everybody's like, that looks fine. No, I don't like it. We're always our worst critic. Try to get into all these little spots where the little flowers are. I'm trying not to color those leaves. Whoops, I colored that flower. Okay, now we're going to go with E27 again. And put a little bit, not too much, just a little bit in some of these darker areas. I don't know, what is this little spot right here? This I think is supposed to be here. We're going to color that in. I don't know what that was. That doesn't, I don't want to show that. Okay, I think I'm going to go with that. I'm really liking that. So we're going to leave her hair like so. Okay, next we're going to work on her outfit. So for her outfit, we're going to use YR12, Y38, Y35, and Y06. Oh, Mr. HobbieHaven says it's not happening today. No baby today. So YR12. It's not gonna, you know, these things don't happen when it's convenient. It's gonna be at, 1 a.m. Okay, so let's go ahead and do her headband first. So let's go with, I'm going to keep it below this darkest color, below the little dotty line. Good to know. Maybe I'll be able to go watch a movie later and I won't have to, go take care of baby duty. I don't think I'm in the mood for putting up with baby Catherine. Catherine Lily's reached a stage where she says no every 2 seconds and throws a fit about everything. And then Natalie, she had her tonsil surgery last week, so she's very whiny too, so I don't think I'm in the mood for that. We'll put Mr. HobbieHaven on that duty. If it happens today, Mr. HobbieHaven's going. Oh. Alright, so now we're going to go... Oh, you know what? This right here, I think is, what is this? This thing. I think that's her foot. Let's fix that. Or, sorry, this thing right here. This is her foot. This little, I forgot that. So let's do E11 first. She's got a weird foot, and she's outside sitting on a mushroom. She's not going to have on socks. So we're just going to color it like it was her foot. And oops. All right, now we'll continue with our outfit. Okay, so we're gonna go with YR12. And let's see. Let's do this, her back. And then we're gonna bring this color up around her foot a little bit. And then for this side, let's do this little leg right here, where it's bent to the bottom. And then we're going to do her shoulder strap. And this shoulder strap. And then let's go ahead and bring this color a little bit away from her arm. We'll do Y38. Okay, let's not bring that. I'm going to use this part. I'm going to make the ruffle a little bit lighter, so we're going to do the next color over there. Let's go ahead and bring this up. And then we're going to want to brush this out. And then Y35. So now, let's start this. Since all this stuff is behind these little leaves right here, we're going to brush away from that. And then we'll fill it in with our Y06. Julie's asking if this is a Sylvia Zett image. Yes, it is. She has such cute little images. I'm not sure if she has her digital shop open anymore or not. I don't know. She was taking a little break. But there are 3 of these kits left, so if you haven't grabbed one, make sure to head over and grab one up from the store. Oh, speaking of the store, I added first class shipping to the store this week so that you could ship your kits for less money. So if you want to pick first class shipping, you can do that now. I found a way to print the little shipping from my house. I didn't do first class before because I have to go down to the store, to the post office to mail it. And that just doesn't happen every day. So I found a way to print shipping from my house without having to pay a service. So I added it on there so we could ship our kits with cheaper shipping. Okay, so for her wings, we're going to use V20, VL1, and V quadruple 0. The chat is stuck. There's kind of a lag. I think they're supposed to come and... Aren't they supposed to come and fix our stuff today, honey? And give us faster something. I think the weather's just messing with the internet today. It's just really gross outside. At least it stopped raining. It's just freezing. Okay, V20. So for V20, let's do... where we want it to be darkest. So let's do a little bit of V20 on this top part. And I'm going to kind of keep it towards the bottom of this little bubble. And then this next one, same thing. Let's kind of go down towards the bottom. And then all of these, the second wing, let's kind of go off of this first wing and pull a little bit from the line down. So it kind of flicks out there on the side. And it's all white down here. And then I did I add I guess I added a little bit up here too. So same thing with these. Let's go from the line and add a little bit in the centers. I'm going to leave this one up here not that color because it's going to be on the top. Next we'll do V01. And this one's kind of a pink color, so be careful putting it on if you don't want that much pink. And then we're going to lastly do our V00. Oh, Mr. HeathersHobbieHaven said, I forgot, Mr. HeathersHobbieHaven works for the cable company. So he's got to do our upgrade. They don't send someone else. He told me when he started working at the cable company that no matter what happens, I should not call the 1-800 number to complain that it wasn't working. So, you know, I should just call just for the fun of it. I think some wives do that. I won't do that, though, because that would be terribly mean. Alright, so I'm going to switch down and let's see. I'm going to leave the mushroom top for last, even though it's next on my list. So let's do these little flowers. Okay, so for our flowers, we're going to use BO2, 00, and Y18. So let's do Y18 for the centers first. And I'm not going to do anything fancy. I'm just going to go blah, blah, blah. See how quick that was? Oh, I forgot all these on the mushroom. Oh, heavens.
Never was the last word that I heard you say.
See how quick that was? That was quick. Okay. So now we're going to do, I'm going to cheat this time, and we're going to do it the opposite way so that we don't have to go over it again with the darkest one like we did the leaves. So we're going to start with B triples, or 00. And I'm just going to color all the flowers in. If you want, you can leave a little bit of white at the end of your flowers. Depends on how you want your flowers to look. And this one, since I colored a little bit of her skin tone, I'm going to make sure to color that one all the way in.
give up anything for you. You say
Julie says she loves the yellow on her little jumper. I had to go because I got some of my yellow paper on the finished card, so I needed to have something that kind of pulled it together with that, so that's why I picked that little yellow jumper.
Can we sit and talk this through for once before you cut off the show? 'Cause even if we're
Okay, so now for this one, I'm just going to flick away a little bit in the center of each petal away from that little yellow center. Oh, sorry, Teresa said she loved the yellow on her jumper. I try to match some of the colors on when I pick out. I usually pick the image and then I go and I pick the paper. So image and then the paper to go whatever sparks my interest. If I colored it first, I would never find paper to match, because I want some kind of something on the image that I colored to match to go with the paper. Because if I colored her purple with hot pink pants, then I probably wouldn't find any paper that would match that. And that's probably what I would pick. Mr. HobbieHaven says I can nag him. Look, it's like a free invitation to give him crap. And just so you know, Mr. HobbieHaven, I don't nag. I give helpful suggestions. All right, so let's go with the ladybug body. We're going to go with this, E43, 42, and 41. Okay, so I'm going to start with my little bug. We're going to start with E43. And let's see here. Since he's kind of looking at her, let's have it so this side of his body is kind of darker. So let's go with a little bit of shadow. And this, I don't want to have too much of this dark brown. This is not what I want my bug to be. So I'm going to try to be very sparing with it. And then for his face, let's go up here. And we're going to pull away from those flowers. And then we're going to come around over here. All right, so now we're going to go with E42. And then E41. And then for our little bug's nose, I colored it black. Excuse me. And I didn't bring my pen in here, so let's do... I'm just going to use this pen here to give him a little bit of a black on his nose. And I'm going to leave a little white dash there at the top. Then we're going to move down here and let's do the mushroom stem. So for the mushroom stem, let's do E44, 43, 42, and 41. And we're going to start with 44. So for 44, let's do, I'm going to go up just a little bit. So for 44, we're going to do right along this little mushroom. And then it kind of curves right here, so let's do a little dab right there. But I also want to bring, move that. I also want to bring, I don't like how far up that is. Let's move back a little bit, sorry. So now we're going to go with our E44 under here. And then we're also, because this section is underneath the top section, we're going to go around here. And then there's all these great little dots already on here, so I'm going to color over all of those. And come down in there. And then we're going to go with E43. So we need to soften all these lines. And then we'll go with E42. Chris, if you want to email me, we can discuss it in an email if you want, but I can't talk about that right this minute. Okay, so E42. Right over the edge of that E43 and E44, and we're going to soften that out, bring it down here, and then I need to bring this down a little bit more. And I'm thinking that I'm going to have to give this a second coat, so I'm not worried that it looks terrible. Let's go with that, and we'll see how it goes. You may email me, Chris, at HeathersHobbieHaven@hotmail.com. And it should be at the bottom of the description box, the email is. So if you watch the YouTube video, down at the bottom. Okay, that looks pretty good so far. Okay, but I'm going to give it a second coat because we want it to be I want it to be a little bit darker, so we're going to go E44 again. And again, I'm trying to keep just a small line here. I don't want it to be too far out. And then we'll go with E43. And E42. And then E41. And there we have the bottom of the mushroom. But since I have the E41 out, let's do these little dots up here. So I'm going to go ahead and just color these little spots in. Linda says that E44 through 40 is her favorite, one of her favorite color combos. It's very versatile. I love these E ones too. I find that I use them a lot for hair, so I try to purposely pick different things because otherwise that's what I would use all the time. Okay, let's hop over here and do the ladybug shell. For that, we're going to use our 29, 27, and 24. We're going to start with 29. And for this little bug, he's pretty small, so I'm going to go ahead and go right next to his face and then just draw a line down to the bottom of his little shell. Then I'm going to add 27. And we just want to add a little bit more, so we're just going to flick away from that line. And then we'll fill it in with our 24. And then for his little dots, again, I colored them in with my Copic, probably my Copic multi-liner or a W9, but I didn't bring that, so I'm just going to use my pen here and color those in. I forgot it. and color the little dots there. Okay, so for the mushroom, we are going to need some more colors here. 29, 14. Okay, let me get them out here. Okay, so for our mushroom, we're going to need our 56, 46, 29, 27, 24, and 14. That's a bunch, huh? Alright, so we're going to start with 56. So for 56, I want this color to go wherever she's sitting. So let's go ahead and brush away. Move my girl up a little bit here. And I'll probably do 2 coats. We'll start with this and we'll see how it goes. Now we're going to add 46. I'm going to brush right over the top of the 56, and then I'm going to pull down just as far. I'm going to make it twice as long. How's that? But I'm completely covering up the 56. Now we'll go with R29. I'm here, Teresa. Hi. R29. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go over the last 2 colors. And then we're going to pull it down. Another little section like we did the last 2. So, however much that is for you. I've tried to add the same amount of color for each new color I put down. So even though I colored all this up here, I'm still going to go over it with this. I'm going to bring this color down past this flower. Whoops, I colored that leaf, that flower petal a little bit. Here we go with R27. Okay, so I'm not going to go clear to the top this time. We're going to go on top of R29. Everybody else deserted us, Teresa. We're the only ones left. We want to see how it turns out. Then we'll go with R24. Okay, so I'm going to touch down on top of my 27. need to change the nib on this one. I don't know what I did to this one, but it's not as pointy as the other ones. Okay, I'm gonna be careful going around this dot. We don't want to color that dot red. I get a little crazy sometimes. Linda wants to know how I keep the reds around her skin from starting to feather. Hey Linda, so this is my secret. Are you ready? So when I color it, I'm barely touching that paper. So let's flip it over. There's nothing on the back. Down here I give this a couple coats so it's on the back, but there's none of those reds right here. So if it starts to bleed, it's because you've saturated the paper so much that it cannot take any more ink, and so it has to go somewhere. So if you're up here and you've saturated it too much and this hasn't been saturated hardly at all, it's going to bleed into that because there's nowhere else for it to go. So when I say I barely touch the paper, I literally barely touch the paper. I'm just like gliding across the top of my paper. Like, let's say you're gonna run your hand, you're gonna take your hand and you're gonna run your finger across it, and I can just you're touching your hand, and it's kind of like I have little bitty tiny hairs on the back of mine, so it's like I'm brushing over the top of those little tiny hairs, and that's all I can feel. I'm not moving my skin, I'm not touching my skin, I'm just barely touching it. And so that's how I color. I barely touch the paper. I know, and everybody's like, you're supposed to saturate the paper, and you do okay, that never works for me. This, I like to not have so much on there that there's nowhere for it to go. Okay, and I'm pulling away from the bottom of the mushroom and going up this time because I just don't want to accidentally brush down into my brown area, because once you color over it, usually with a red this dark, you're not going to get that out. Okay, so now my mushroom has all these little lines in there. I'm going to go ahead and brush over my entire mushroom with this R14. And we'll see what that does. If it takes some of those lines out. So now when I'm brushing, I'm taking, even though I'm still barely touching the paper, I'm running it across the top, and I'm leaving it I'm going slower. So it's taking a little bit more ink on the paper, it's smushing everything around onto my cardstock, and smoothing it out. That's what I call it, smoothing it. So let's go this way. So there's still some little lines in here, so I'm going to go back over it, and I kind of let it dry. I don't, like I went over this section before, but I let it have a few seconds before I come back and go over it again. That way it dries up just a little bit. Okay, so I still got a little bit right up in here. So I'm going to go ahead again. So I put down my pencil, my pen, and I lightly go over the top, but I'm leaving it down just a fraction of a second longer than I normally would if I was flicking. If I'm trying to smooth things, then I kind of run it across and just leave it down a little bit longer. And I colored that poor flower again. Poor flower. But see how much smoother it looks? Okay, Okay, now let's flip it over. So it's still pretty white on the back, right here on the edge. I gave it a little bit more pressure evidently because you can see it coming through right there. And then right over here. But still up here where all these really dark colors were, I can't see those. So even if I got a little close to my skin line, it wouldn't bleed in there because there's still room on the paper for it to suck up some more. That took lots of practice, Linda. I didn't always used to do it. And I used to, when I colored, I used to go from, everybody said do light to dark. And so you did the light to dark, and it got so dark on the back that there was no, I mean, the whole back of the paper was this red color. So there was nowhere for you to put more. It has to go somewhere. So if it's in here and it's all full, it's going to have to go out here. So for me, it works better to go from the dark to the light so that you put a little bit of dark and then you come back and fill it in, or if you have to go over it a second time. So let's try doing our mushroom. Let's go back down. Let's do our mushroom a second time and we'll see how much ink it will. I'm not worried about messing it up. So let's do a second coat just to see what it looks like. Okay, so we'll do R56. So again, we go right along the top, and when I feather, again, I'm just barely touching that paper. Literally. Because the minute you put that pen down, that paper's sucking stuff up. It's like, ooh, I'm thirsty, and it drank it all up. So we'll go across, add a little color. Okay, and I don't need to go with this color because we already have so much down there. You don't have to go clear to the top of your what was that? 56. So I kind of go like halfway where I started it and then pull out. So it's not right next to her body. You don't want it to be too close. And we'll go with 29. And again, let's put it down on top of our 46. So we're going to go up here. We're going to brush right over the top of our 46. And we're going to brush down into here. We're going to try not to color that poor flower. Then we'll go with 27. Okay, so now this red, my 29, I don't know what it is, but it kind of leaves like a little, if you put so much on there, let me flip it. Let's see what the back looks like real quick. So you still can't see it, so it's still good. But it kind of gets, after a couple of coats, it kind of gets shiny. I don't know why it is. I've switched pins, it just still does it. So I'm going to go ahead and start up here at the top and then pull down over 29 and down here into my space where the 27 was before. Then we'll go 24. And same thing, I've got all these little lines in here from those last two colors, so I'm going to go ahead and go over those. Whoops, oh poo. Look there, that poor flower, now it's really, really red. Poor flower. We're gonna have to color that flower blue now. Really blue. Okay, and then we'll go with 14 for our last color. So again, we got all these lines, so let's go. I don't want to color outside the line, so I'm going to go back this way. Pull this up. Okay, so we got all these lines up here, so let's swipe across this way. Let's see what we can do for this poor little flower right here. Okay. I'm just gonna wave it around for a minute. Hi, Sonia! Thanks for coming by. I'm giving it a little wave. It's gotta dry here just a minute. We'll see if we can do some more removing of color from these poor little flowers here. So after you've done it once, I let it dry. And then I come back and I give it another little swoosh of pushing away. So, like this little flower right here, I don't want to push it around in a circle. I want to start in the center and push it out towards the red part. So not too bad. That doesn't look too bad. Okay, so you're gonna let that dry. You want to make sure after you've done your colorless blender that you let it dry, and then come back. So give it, you know, a little bit, or wave it around, or whatever you do. Okay, so then we're gonna come. Whoops. Let me go ahead and do my light one first. So I'm gonna do B00 first. And since now they're kind of pink, I'm going to go ahead and make them all the way blue. Because I didn't get that red's pretty dark, so you're not going to get all that red out. And then we'll add a little bit of this. give it some blue there. So we've got our 2 coats of red on there. So now let's flip it over. And see, there's still room on the back. Even this right here is where I did the colorless blender on that flower. So it forced that color off of my flower and out here. So it's made it a little bit darker there. Same with this right here. There's a little spot right here. That's where I used the colorless blender on it to force that red out into here. So it made it a little bit darker. But you still cannot see, there's not much on the back of the paper. So I could put more on there if I wanted to. And you could add a whole nother coat. I just don't like, after I've done the first coat of the R29, I don't usually like to come back and add another 2 or 3 coats because it just comes with this, it's shiny. I don't know why it does that. And I have gotten a new pen. It's not the pen, it's just the color of the marker. But it's like it sits, like Teresa said, it's like it sits on the top of the paper. It doesn't go anywhere. So I usually like to just do the 1 coat, maybe 2 if I have to, and then definitely go back over it like I did with the R14 and kind of rub it around so that it goes somewhere besides right in that little streak. But you don't want to do that too much because then it'll do, because the 14 is lighter, it'll move all this other stuff and make it look all blotchy. So you want to be careful when you're doing that, that you don't let that happen. Okay, let's get our stuff out here. All right, so we have all this great stuff. Let me go up a little bit more. But there she is, all colored. She turned out cute. Love her. Very adorable. I stamped an extra one in case I made a boo-boo. That does happen. All right, so we got all this wonderful stuff. So this is going to go on top of this piece. So you're going to have to decide... Did I bring my chopper in here? I did. I brought my chopper. So we're going to have to trim this off. So this piece is... Let me find my ruler. So you're going to need... I can't remember. I think in the kit I cut your piece the exact size, but I did not cut this one. So it's going to need to be 3 and a little bit less than 3 1/4 wide. So let's go with... Whoops. And when you touch the red, it feels tacky. So you got to be careful. Okay, so 3 1/4 is going to be right here. I don't think she's straight. I don't think I put her on there straight. She's kind of... Let me see my card. I got to look at it again. So my card, she's kind of like this, and this is kind of like that. So let's do... Let me set this on here and see. So when you're stamping her, mine's kind of cattywampus. The little frame is not straight up and down with a girl like this. It's kind of like this. So let's do like this. Let's stick this like so. We'll see how good I do, huh? Okay, we're gonna go... Oh, it's still gonna need to go a little bit more, I think. And I want to cut this frame off. Get over here. Okay. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Let's turn it this way. So now, let's see. Let's go.
I've been low. I've been chasing all the things I never had before. All the way down by the river. I found a place where I can drown the...
Gotta line everything up just right. Okay, so the frame, we gotta go in a little bit. So let's go like this. And this is gonna need to go a little bit more. And this. Let's see. then we're gonna need some. Sonia says it's a great color combo. Thanks, Sonia. I love this stamp. She's just so cute. Okay, so let's do. Let me grab a piece of paper. Let's grab our instructions. And I'm gonna put some glue on the back of this. Whoops, not like that. I glued my finger. Okay. I'm gonna pop her on here. That way she can dry a little bit while we are doing the card putting together. Move over just a little bit. There we go. Okay, see? Perfect. Alright, let's move all that. Okay, so we got all this stuff. So I'm going to set her over here so she can dry just a little bit. And I always, first thing I do is I make sure my card is going the proper direction because I would be the one that put it on there wrong. And then the next piece that you're going to put on is this one. And it's got some horizontal lines on there for the wood. And all this stuff has a direction. So make sure you're going the right way. Or you can flip it over and you can use this side. Whichever you prefer. Alrighty, then next let's attach this little butterfly to this, or if you prefer you could use this little flower side, whichever one you decide. So we're going to attach this onto here and it should fit all the way to the bottom. And then next we're going to have this piece. So this piece is going to go like here, and this is the another piece that had the wood on the back, only it has like stripes of different things. Okay, so this we're going to want to go like this, so I want to make sure it's on there where I want it. Then we'll attach the butterflies. My finger got stuck in the glue. And I put the red piece behind there so that you could really see the butterflies. Otherwise I kind of got lost on the brown piece. Okay, and then we got blue. Or if you prefer, you can have octagons. I kind of wish this octagon piece, I like this octagon piece, but I kind of wish that the pattern was a little bit smaller. Next, we're going to have this cutie. We're going to put our girl on. She's going to go like this. And then next we have this one, and this one I put like this. So this is going to need some foam tape because I popped it up. So on these little foam things, I always save this edge piece because look how perfect this is. Ta-da! And you pull it off and you stick it right on there. So I always save these little edge pieces because they're perfect for that. Sticking on there like that. I am just no trimming, no nothing. You just stick it on. Okay, so I ran out, so we're gonna get out a new packet. And even though these aren't used up, I'm going to cheat. And I'm going to take this part. And this other end. Be careful with these scissors, because those things are dangerous weapons. Okay, so we're going to attach this. And we got this going over the top here. And then for this piece, I'm going to put this on there. So let's go ahead and do some pop dots here at the end. Oops, this pop dot over here is too big. Let's trade. It needs to be a little bit smaller because I want it to be flat over here on this side. So like that. And I think I'll put one here in the middle. We'll use this one that we ripped off. Maybe up here. Okay, let's attach this. The second frame, both frames are cut from the same die, and it's from the Creative Expressions double stitched rectangles. So it has a rectangle, and then I stuck another, there's two dies together, and you stick them together and they make that little frame. And it's got some stitching, like on the outsides here, but it's white. So they're both, this one's like a, what color was this one? This was Maraschino cardstock, the red one here, and this is just plain white, but they have like a double stitching row. Okay, and then this, I'm gonna go like this. And then we want to put this on there. And this is a Penny Black Sending Love die. Okay, so the love here, it's going to stick off of this L, so I'm not going to put glue up there. You could also run this through your little Xyron maker. Or if you have a paint of one of those little glue pens. My stupid glue pen never works, so I always just put the glue on the back. I don't know what it is with that glue pen, but I always feel like it's not working. And I tried to do it so that my word rests on this little dotted line down here on this one, because it also has the stitching on it. And this little tag thing here was from My Favorite Things Blueprints 1 die. Okay, so then we're going to have this. So again, our G and our D are not going to be on the paper, so you don't need to put glue clear to the top. for the bottom. Because it's going to hang off of our space. Like that. Okay, and then you're gonna do you're gonna put some glitter pen. Oh, glitter pen. So for my glitter pen, what did I do? I did a red glitter pen up here on the flowers on her little outfit, and I forgot to bring it in here, so we're not gonna do that. And then I put my clear glitter pen on the hair, on her hair, and then all these little swirly things that are sticking out. But she's got some little flowers here on her outfit that I colored with the sparkle pen. So there is our adorable card for today, Poppy. So if you haven't picked her up, make sure to head over to the store and grab one. They are down in the description box. I think it's probably the top one on the list. So, and there's only 3, maybe 4 left. So if you want to get her, go ahead and go over there and grab that. So thank you, Sonia, Teresa, so Julie. So that's what we're going to do. Next week, we are going to be doing, don't forget, if you want to know what upcoming classes we're doing, go over to the store blog, and there's a link to the blog down in the description box towards the bottom that will take you there. And then at the top of the blog, there is a little tab that says classes. So if you hit that, it'll tell you what we're going to be doing. So this is next week's class, Leprechaun Lass. She's a Moe's digital pencil image. So if you go to the classes bar and you head down to where it shows you a picture of this girl, there's a blog post, and it will take you to the blog post that tells you all the stuff I use. There's supplies at the bottom of the post, and then there's a little pin card that tells you all the colors that you will need. So if you need to get the little pin card so you know what to pull out if you want to color too. So she's next week. And then the following week, we're going to do this cutie. This is called Love You. And this is a penny black stamp. This was a card kit in the store, but I have already sold out of these. There aren't any more. But if you want to color her, go over to Moe's Digital Pencil, and she's a digi. So you can pick her up still and color along with us. So if you want to color her. So that's what I have planned for the next 2 weeks. I'm going to work on what we're doing after that. I have a card kit that I'm making up now with a dog. It's got a boy, and he's got a package and the dog's jumping out. So that's going to be our next one. Some kind of happy birthday thing I think would be really fun. But that's what we're going to be doing for the next couple of weeks. I have it planned out. If you have a suggestion, make sure to put it down in the description box or email me, and I will add it to my list, because I'm still working on things. And if it's something we haven't tried and I have the supplies to do it, that's great too. I don't mind trying something new. And if it doesn't turn out, then we'll just learn how to do it together. I'm fine with that too. But otherwise, I hope you guys are having a great week and enjoying some hopefully nice weather. We have yucky stuff here, but hopefully you guys are going to enjoy some nice stuff. Don't forget to hit the like button if you like the video, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done that. Feel free to share my video if you want to share it with others. I'm cool with that. And if you hit the little bell by the subscription box, you will be able to be notified of when I upload a new video. And don't forget to hit all the links down at the bottom of the post if you're going to do some shopping. That would be awesome. I would love that. Helps me out a little bit. Otherwise, I hope you guys are having a great week. Thanks for coming by and coloring with me today. Bye!